Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for listening to the Silence So Loud podcast. Today, we got a very special guest. We're going to have our wrestler on, DRAKE ZAVIOR. He's been on the show a couple times before, and he's always a good time and makes for a great interview. So, we're going to get him on the phone right now.
Hello, hello.
Drake, what's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm doing great, man. How about yourself?
Pretty good, man. Pretty good. So,
So,
glad to have you on. Sorry about the mishap last week.
nah, it happens.
Yeah, yeah. So for those of you listening that are going to listen to this show, we had Drake on last week and had a great interview, but my Wi-Fi was acting up. It was coming in and out, and I realized that we only got about maybe 8 minutes of a long interview. So I'm like, oh man, it did not record. So I was devastated, man.
Yeah, it's fine. I don't mind talking with you.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, and happy belated birthday. You had a
Thank you
birthday
very
yesterday?
Yeah, I did. I'm gonna say I'm an old man now, but I've been an old man for a while.
Yeah,
So,
no, you're still in your prime, man. It's still in your prime.
oh
So,
yeah.
you have do anything exciting for your birthday or?
Uh, I got a Blizzard from Dairy Queen. That's about it.
That's awesome. Dude, you gotta love Dairy Queen, man. They've been around forever.
Yeah, it was my special little treat. Gotta get some sugar in the system.
Yeah. When I was a young chubby kid, man, that was like a treat. My parents would be like, and same thing, man, a Blizzard. And that's like going back like 30 something years ago. It's like, oh, a Blizzard, right?
You can't beat it.
We can't beat it. All right. So,
Uh,
so what's the latest in the wrestling world, man? What have you been up to?
apparently choking to death.
Oh, yeah. All right.
Yeah. You know, same old, same old. I had that match with Austin Aries a few weeks ago, probably about a month ago now, huh?
Yeah, that was
Uh,
awesome. Yes,
and
yes.
that was a lot of fun. I won over at New Heights Pro Wrestling up in the Phoenix Springs. I won the Pride Championship, which
Right,
is close to their Intercontinental Championship. There, we'll say.
right. Yeah,
And yeah, I've been stepping up. I got a couple other companies wanting me to wrestle their champions. Whether hopefully I can get some good matches out of them and stuff like that coming up soon too.
yeah, man.
So,
Is it just me, or does it seem like there's companies just popping up like everywhere, man? Like is the independent circuit just like taking off like crazy, or is it?
um,
It just seems like it, you know?
a lot of people do show up and go, "Oh man, I can run a wrestling promotion," and they try and then they realize what a pain it is
Yeah,
and how much work it actually has to go through, and it falls apart really quick.
yeah.
But I recently found out there are, I believe, 86 promotions in Florida alone,
Right.
and that's an absurd number. I'm not even gonna lie.
That is a lot. That's a
Yeah.
lot. Yeah. You know.
So,
Yeah, it's a pain to run a wrestling promotion. I mean, I know I was a huge fan of Dusty Rhodes growing up,
mhm.
and when he went on to WWE and they kind of did the whole polka dot thing,
Yeah.
humiliate him a little bit. He did say that one of the great things, which he was like, no animosity, like he said, Vince can put me in a diaper and I'll sell it, right? He said
Mhm.
it doesn't matter. But one of the things that he was relieved about is that he was, also doing the whole being a promoter thing until he got to WWE. And
Yeah.
I forgot like you know,
Uh,
how busy that man was being a
mhm.
wrestler, being a promoter, doing all that stuff, handling talent, which he later did for WWE and came up with a lot of like of the characters that we know. But it
Mhm.
is a huge pain in the butt, like a like 24/7 commitment, you
Oh
know.
yeah.
So yeah, I think you're right. I think a lot of guys are like, oh, I'll just be a promoter, it can't be that hard, you
Yeah.
know.
I honestly, I tried it myself at one point years ago,
Uh huh.
and I didn't realize how much time and money, and I didn't promote it properly, and it was a mess. Like there was
Yeah.
some good matches and everything like that, but there was no build up. There was barely a crowd, so
Yeah.
it fell through for me.
Right.
I know. If
Yeah.
I'm ever gonna try it again, I need way more prep time than that.
Right. I mean, look at what's his name, Ted Turner, right?
Mm,
Successful businessman, Atlanta Braves, CNN, he
Yeah.
tried WCW and they said he didn't really put, a lot of his attention to it, kind of like, oh, I'll just, pay for it and let other people do it. And then, huge outfit and then got ran to the ground, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So, so as far as the independent circuit, are you having some of the ones that where you feel like, okay, they definitely got it going on, like from a wrestler point of view, can you spot like, okay, these guys they're gonna have a future, or I won't make you say any names, but like you get to some and you go, oh, this isn't gonna last, it's just gonna be a dud down the road.
Of promotions
Yeah,
or
yeah. Like,
oh
you work a promotion, and like I said, don't say any names because I don't want to put people on blast. But
no,
like,
you're good. Yeah.
yeah, you
No,
work some outfits and go, this ain't happening, or some outfits you go, oh, they got it going on, they got a future.
there are some of them, yeah, that I work for right now that have a future. They're going strong and everything like that. A few of them that I've been to that like have already fallen through a few times, or the roster that they have, it doesn't feel like they quite know what they're doing.
Uh huh.
But I mean, they are trying. They're trying to do what they can with who they have and everything like that. But
Yeah.
one
Yeah.
of one of the big problems that I've run into with Florida, and I mean, I hope I don't sound like a terrible person for this, is a lot of the promoters don't want to pay the wrestlers.
That was
You know
gonna
what I
be my
mean?
next question. I swear
Uh,
that was gonna be my next question.
um, like, unless you're a huge name, you're like, have you ever heard the term hot dog in a handshake?
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah.
they try to go by that a lot. Like, not exactly, but like, hey, you want to drive 2 hours out to this show? I'll give you $20 kind of deal. And
Yeah, I got an Applebee's
it's,
gift card, and you're like, I
yeah,
can't hand that to Tico Energy,
yeah, exactly. But yeah, that's one of the big issues here. And then if you're like, hey, I need a bigger payday, they tell you sell merchandise. Like,
Yeah.
all right, sure, I'll sell merchandise when I'm playing the heel. Nobody wants to talk to me because I literally have people getting out of their seats to yell at me as soon as I get out of the ring, and they're flipping me off. They don't want to come anywhere near me as soon as I'm out of it because some people still believe in this.
Oh yeah,
They
especially
still believe I'm a
kids.
terrible person.
Yeah.
So
I mean, look at Piper back in the day. He's getting stabbed by fans, literally, not
yeah, exactly.
hypothetically, stabbed by fans because they're believing it.
Yeah, he
You
had to wear
know,
a Kevlar vest. Yeah,
yeah, wearing a
it's insane.
protective vest because these guys they're taking it so to the heart. They're stabbing him, flipping you off, giving you the bird, and especially kids. You were saying before that a lot of people were saying, like you enjoy playing the hill,
Hmm.
but as a kid, hills are definitely believable when you're a kid. So you're like, I'm not approaching that guy. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? Like, you know, because I mean, I went to wrestling like my whole life. I've been to wrestling shows, and
Hmm.
um, one of the very first ones I ever went to was at USF Sundome in Tampa. It's now the Yingling Center, but
Hmm.
I remember being by like the Hills Inn, like they were doing the whole like USSR gimmick, and like there was like the Iron Sheik and Nikolai Volkov, like those guys, and I was like right by them, and I remember being a little kid like scared, like, oh, these guys are bad guys, you know what I mean, like, you know.
Yeah.
So like if you're definitely in the heel role, you're not approachable, you know. So and yeah, like survive off merchandise, like a lot of like big companies, like say WWE, they
Mhm.
take the majority of the cut on the merchandise,
Exactly.
you know? So yeah, that was wild, man. That was going to be my next question is that, I've heard those rumors that, you get promoters and you do a show and they don't want to pay you,
Yeah.
and or they just want to pay you by not paying you, like,
Mhm.
like you said, like I'll give you a gift card, I'll give you whatever, I'll give you a hot dog, you
Yeah.
know?
I
So,
had yeah, it was a few years ago, but there was a promotion. It was a few hours from me. I had like 4 hours,
uh-huh.
and for a while there, I was going there for free, and then I finally asked for gas money. He gave me $10. I was
Yeah,
like, wait,
$10.
hold on. I'm driving 4 hours each way. I don't think this is helping me, man.
Yeah, $10
So
that will get you, 2 gallons plus.
yeah,
So what is that
exactly.
really gonna do? So now, back to the wrestling. the whole Austin Aries thing, when you told me that you had wrestled him, I was like, yeah, that's a big name. How did that
Yeah.
come about? Like like you approach him, he approached you. Like, how does that come about?
So the whole it was honestly a surprise to me that it was going to happen. So the promoter, it's at Real Brutal Wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Like he obviously he was a wrestler. He had his last match in the same show as well. He's just gonna step back, just be a promoter at this point. Young guy too. He's younger than me. He's just had like 15 concussions at this point.
Oh,
So
yeah.
he's got to step away at this point.
Yeah.
But he went over. He contacted Austin Aries because Austin he went off the grid for a while just because of everything that was going on with him.
Mm-hmm.
And he's back. He's taking some booking. Talked to him, got his price and everything like that. And he's like, "Hey, can you help out with some of our guys?" Blah blah blah. And Austin's like, "Yeah." And they had him cut a promo. And in the promo, he said he was going to be having a match with me. They sent me the promo because I missed the show where they aired it, and I'm just like, "Oh, I guess this is happening."
Right.
And I feel honored because when they got him booked and everything like that, apparently the first person in mind is like, "Yeah, Drake. He's got to wrestle Austin. They're gonna have a fantastic match. He's number one on the list to have a match with Austin."
Yeah. Yeah.
So
that means that you got a buzz going on the circuit.
Yeah, apparently.
Yeah.
The match should be coming out within the next week, I'm hoping.
Yeah.
They had some uploading issues apparently, so
Yeah.
But I'm hoping everywhere I go, people have been talking about me. People have been loving on me. Like I said, they first thought was Austin Aries and the promoter up at New Heights. They went through a list of everybody else who could have been in contention for the Pride title, and they were like, "Give it to Drake," or because since he's gotten here, he has proven himself time and time again with every single person he's wrestled.
Right.
Putting the belt on him, see what he can do with it and everything like that.
Right.
So
that's awesome, man. I think it's your style too. Like in 2024, because I've been watching wrestling my whole life, right? And I've seen like all the manias, and like your style of wrestling to me over the last like say couple years is really like the direction that I think the business is going, what people like, like I heard HPK talk about it, like back in the 80s it was about, being this big monster, and you have like show off your strength and put a guy in a bear hug, for a couple minutes and see if the arm falls, and kind of slow moving or whatever. And man, when you watch like your moves, that awesome video I told you about with your I think like top 40 moves or something like that, you're a flyer, man. And I think that's what fans like today, is they like the high flyers and just kind of like the technical wrestlers,
the overall, you have to be a gymnast nowadays to wrestle.
Right, right. There's a lot of guys from like the late 70s, early 80s. If you brought them to 2024, I mean, they wouldn't get over on the crowd at all. Like even if they are like 300 plus pounds and massive or whatever, just and it's totally. It used to be opposite. Like you wouldn't dare give the belt to any guy that's like like not a monster look, even though he can't wrestle. But I definitely like how it is now that people pay attention to the skills in the ring, if that makes sense.
It's people know it's more of a performance.
Right.
So it's whoever can perform better and make it look good and keep the attention going and everything like that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I gotcha.
Yeah, because as a wrestling fan, one thing that I used to hate, and you've seen it, right? Where you get like a guy and it's like how do I word this nicely? Like you're like a failed bodybuilder, so then you're like, or like failed football player, so now I'm gonna be a wrestler, know. And then you just get in there.
I'm big, I'm strong, I can just be a wrestler now. It's fine. Yeah.
Right. And you get them in there and they're just like I think of the Ultimate Warrior, like he ran to the ring like a madman, roided out to the max, shake some ropes, and you're pumped, right? And
Yeah.
then and get them in the ring, and you're like, this looks horrible.
Yeah.
like like you just feel like a sparkler firework, right? Like you light the sparkler and you're waiting for it, and then nothing happens, you know.
Mhm.
And I think fans now are looking for your style, where it's like, all right, he's on the top rope, he's about to fly and do these moves in the air, and
Mhm.
just insanity, and I think that's where we're at right now, is people appreciate the in-ring performance more in this day and age, you
Mhm.
know, because look at Hulk Hogan. He gets blasted. People go on and they're like, he could never wrestle, like
Yeah.
like I've seen that argument, like who's the greatest, and people mention Hogan, and then you got people like going, yeah, but look at his matches, he can't wrestle, you
Mhm.
know. So yeah, and like your moves, we talked about this before on our loss interview.
Mhm.
Um, like your top five, I got them listed, but which one is they listed Brutal Critical Second Edition as like your number one move? And is that your opinion of your number one move, or?
Uh, it's up there. The reason I know the reason you got it listed at number one is I've only used it a few times, and it's one of those moves that if I do it, people aren't kicking out of it.
Right? Yeah.
So he tries to keep some. He tries to keep the realism in it. It's like, oh, win to loss ratio. Like obviously the finishers are going to be the top moves because they end matches and
Uh-huh.
everything like that.
Yeah.
And how rare they are, how they look, all that. But I would put it up there. My favorite move that I'm doing currently, I say doing currently, I've only done it a few times because people don't like taking it or they're afraid to take it. Um, it's calling it the Crown of Stars. I don't know if it made top five or not.
That's your fourth. That's
It
number
was number
four.
four. Okay,
Yeah, that's number four.
it's a switch brainbuster,
Yeah.
and I've never seen anybody do it before. And it was basically one of my fans went over and was like, "Hey, can you do this?" And I'm like, "I don't even know if that's possible."
Yeah.
Turns out it is,
Right.
and I'm trying to incorporate it into my moveset, possibly as a new finisher, because in this day and age, you have to have something that nobody else does to
Right.
get eyes on yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah. Now, when you work the circuit, you probably face guys like you've never faced before. Do
Mm-hmm.
they communicate with you like, hey man, like don't do this, like I'm not taking that, or is that kind
Um,
of a thing, or not really?
it is. I always with how my moveset is. That's another reason I try to have a wide variety for my moveset. Is hey, are you cool with taking this? No, all right. Well, can we switch to this? This back and forth kind of deal.
Yeah.
Because there are so many people that hey, I want to be a wrestler, but I don't want to do anything that I could possibly get hurt, or if I bump too much, it's not going to be good on my body, or if I do this, or if I do I pulled my neck last week. I don't know why I'm wrestling this week. This kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
And all that
And it's
happens
like,
like when you meet them, like they're telling you all this, or more like in the moment, like don't do this move, or how does that
yeah.
work?
I honestly, if it comes down to it, I'll dumb the match. Sorry, not dumb the match. I'll pull the match down from my standards.
Ah.
But you've seen the matches I can put on, and I'll put it down to like something where like maybe one or two bumps in the match, or
Mm-hmm.
very simple stuff, a lot of roll ups, more chaining, all this stuff, and that's something I try to pride myself on, is being able to work around whatever my opponent is comfortable with taking.
Yeah.
So I don't want to put somebody in a position where they're not comfortable and then they screw something up and make it look bad. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, and
Yeah.
you're a very high flying technical wrestler. Do you ever have like you ever? I'm sure you have like had opponents where like you get kind of pissed off because you're like, hey, I'm working,
Mm-hmm.
and they're just kind of like running through the motions, like not putting that full effort in, you know?
Yeah. There's been a few times. A few weeks ago, I was in a match with somebody, and it was one of the shows I'm a face at, and I was getting my little shine at the beginning and everything. And beforehand, I'm like, hey, I'll hit you with a running rana and the shine there. He's like, all right, cool, yeah. I go to do it. I get my one leg up on his head. As I bring my other leg up, he puts his arm out, and it gets hooked underneath his arm.
Right.
Then he does like some weird, like sideways bump thing, and it just looks horrible.
Right.
After the match, I'm like, hey, what happened there? And he's like, well, I've never taken it before. I thought I could just take it. And I'm like, if you weren't comfortable, you could have just let me know. We would have done something else. It's not a problem. Now it's on camera. It's going to be online.
Right.
And that for me personally, one screw up in a match is it's over. I hate the whole match kind of deal.
Yeah.
But,
yeah. I agree. Like when you get a botch, like, people over focus on them, when the answers just quickly move on,
Exactly. Like, you can make them look good if you just can work through it. But like, even if nobody else knows, I know. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
I think it happened on Raw last night with the Sheamus match. Like they're on the top rope and they just kind of fell, and you could tell. Yeah, you could tell.
I heard Crown Jewel had a few of them also, from what I've heard. I haven't been able to watch it yet.
Yeah. Are you talking about the one they just did like 2 weeks, a couple of nights ago, the Clash at the Castle?
Clash of the Castle, yeah.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, there was definitely some. Yeah.
Jade Cardell with the top rope, she couldn't springboard or something like that.
Yeah.
And then Damian Priest trying that lucha plancha.
Yeah.
Which terrifies me. I've practiced it before, and I've seen too many videos of them going wrong to ever do it again. But he tried it, his foot got caught, and they covered it up pretty well. But man, that could have been bad.
I thought he was hurt. Like I thought he was gonna be out. Like I'm like, oh, he's out. Like because he was limping. And then he went. He did his post. Interview and said he hadn't seen medical yet, and he's like, I don't even want to see medical right now. But he was out last night. And I guess it was nothing. I'm like, he really got lucky on that one because. I was like, oh, he's hurt. Like, he's hurt,
I saw a video a few weeks ago. Of course, there was no warning on it because, they never do. You ever see, like, the luchador videos that pop up on Facebook, and you don't know if it's going to be someone getting hurt or if it's going to be something really cool.
Yeah.
Well, this guy tried to do the same plancha, and his foot didn't leave the second rope, and he went over. And it just his foot stayed there. He just went over. His knee went the wrong way. It was just terrifying. I cannot bring myself to even try it at this point.
Yeah.
After seeing that one. So.
Yeah. I guess don't watch those videos.
Every time I see the lucha, I'm like, is it good or bad?
Yeah. Now I did think like Clash of the Castle that it was a decent show. I thought AJ and Cody put on a good match. It was a good angle. Like they had one of those like I Quit matches, and I'm like, how I'm always curious like how those I Quit matches are going to end, because you're like, who's going to really say it and why, what's going to cause them to say it. But it was cool, like Cody handcuffed him and pinned him up against a corner and picked up the staircase, and then that made him scream, I quit. But that was cool ending. But I guess he's AJ's going to Japan to wrestle. Is what they're saying.
I believe. Is it NJPW or is it? It's somewhere out there. He's wrestling. My friend just told me about it.
Some like new promotion that he's helping out, like somebody new in Japan. You know, which we were talking about that before. It's weird how WWE is kind of like being kind of relaxed on that whole like working with each other thing. Which we've never seen before.
I think from what I've heard that there was a law passed where they couldn't keep talent from performing other places. Like it's a whole actors deal or entertainment deal, I'm not sure, where you can't in a contract keep people from working at other places.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
well, I know Vince did for a while.
Exactly. I think that's why there was a law that passed because of stuff like this. So that's why they got the TNA deal going on. AJ's going to New Japan. I'm beyond excited because AEW's Forbidden Door stuff is happening soon.
Yeah, that's going to be awesome. And I don't know if you heard the rumor Ricochet's going there to AEW. That's what the rumor bill is saying. Um, his contract retire is done, and you know, his I think it's his fiance or his wife is the announcer for him
Okay.
for WWE. That Samantha Irwin.
Oh yeah. Oh, I thought you said Ricky Shays. I'm like, who is that?
No,
Ricochet. Okay. I'm
Ricochet.
like,
Sorry.
what? That's okay.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah. Oh, that would be awesome. I mean, we'd see Osprey versus Ricochet again, and just see the crazy stuff that they do. I
right,
mean,
right. And I'm curious how that's going to work because his wife or fiance or whatever it is, like,
mm,
I think she's a good announcer. I like it.
oh yeah.
You know, I think she's awesome. But I'm like,
Mm-hmm.
will she stay in WWE with him leaving, or
I
you
mean,
know?
I I I don't think it would be a problem. I mean, look at Buddy Matthews and for Rhea Ripley.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah,
So
yeah, yeah.
and yeah, and I heard that she was coming back, or she was seen back, or something like that too, from her injury, wasn't she? Or
Yeah, I think she's gonna come back, you know, because you have that one storyline going where the girl, what's her name?
Liv Morgan.
Liv Morgan, yeah, going after Dom, and I think they're building that up. And
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you caught the end of Raw. They brought out the Wyatt Six. Have
Yeah,
you?
I saw that. Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
What do you think
but
about that? You think that's a mistake with Bray Wyatt being gone, or more of like a
it,
seller?
I know it will be a seller. Let's just see if they do it the right way, and if everybody can keep up with what they need to do and everything like that. Because as I've stated before, I've never been a big fan of Bo Dallas.
Yeah, yeah,
Um, but maybe after a few more years and perfecting this character, he'll hook me again or something like that. You know what I mean?
yeah,
So,
yeah, yeah. Bo Dallas has always kind of been like Bray Wyatt. You know, clearly was like, you know, the popular one.
mm-hmm.
Um, those guys. He's from out here, isn't he? Like Brooksville. Like
Yeah, Brooksville. Yeah,
yeah, yeah,
it's weird. It's like half an hour from where I live.
yeah,
So,
yeah. Have you ever met him or met Bray? Or my
uh,
friend met Bray because he lives in Brooksville. Said he's a really was you know really nice guy.
uh,
Um,
I never got to meet Bray,
mhm.
but I used to work at an Outback out here, and occasionally he would Bo would drive down and he would eat here by himself. He'd just sit there, watch a podcast, and order like $120 worth of stuff, and then head out.
Yeah,
I talked to him a little bit. He's nice,
yeah,
and like I tried to ask him for advice once. He said basically, hey, just be yourself, have fun with it. Don't be get relaxed. I'm like, okay, cool,
yeah,
but I
yeah.
mean,
Now, if you would have told me like a while back, Bo Dallas is going to be leading this big group on WWE,
mm,
I wouldn't have believed you.
same.
You know, I would be like, what? You know, but I will
Mm,
say if you when you see, I don't know if you saw the video, the filming of it was great. The camera angles and the camera work was just on point. Like they did definitely like a creepy little.
mm-hmm.
It's really fast. It's only like a few minutes of the end of Raw, but it definitely worked. Like I was like, wow, this is like a movie production almost. So, but I mean that's WWE. They got like the budget, the endless money, you know, to film stuff like that. So that's always on point, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So
exactly.
yeah. So what's in the future? You got some big matches you want to promote before we head out, or
Um, we got this upcoming Friday over at Amp Wrestling at the what's it? Oh man, Retro Rat in Largo.
uh,
I'm going to be in a triple threat match with two other high flyers for the area.
right?
Damian Gemini and Zachyrus.
Okay.
Uh, Winner of that match, the next day will be going against the German Madman Krieger, or the Iron Kaiser Krieger. He has like 30 nicknames.
Uh
Um,
huh.
for his championship over at AMP.
Right.
Um, let's see. Then next weekend I will be up in Alabama. I don't remember the city name because I've heard it like twice, and I'm like, oh, I don't know how to pronounce that.
Yeah.
For New Heights Wrestling again,
Okay.
they're doing a charity show up there. I will be defending my Pride title once again against Kelly Clark, the man I won it from.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, that'll be fun. And then next month, I don't know if who I'm wrestling, what's going on there, but Real Brutal Wrestling will be happening again out in Newport Richie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't know. I'm pretty sure I'll be on it, but on the 30th at the OCC Roadhouse out in Clearwater, FIP will be running again, and I believe I'm going to be on that show.
I've heard that's great. The OCC, yeah. That is awesome. Yeah,
it's always. And also, if you guys are interested, it's not for everyone, but have you ever heard of Kaiju Big Battle?
No, I haven't heard of it.
Okay. Look it up. It's a lot of fun. It's people who dress up as giant monsters and have pro wrestling shows.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
July 6th at MetroCon, we will be having an event. And that's always a lot of fun. We always get a huge crowd there. We run occasionally in Tampa. They're going to be doing their first show in Japan in October, I believe.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
So that's always a fun one. So.
Well, that's awesome. Sounds like you're going to be working, man.
That's all I can do,
right? Right. Well, thanks for coming on. We appreciate you. You're always a great guest and love having you on. And like I said, happy birthday. And I wish you the best of luck, man.
All right. Thank you so much, man. You have a wonderful rest of your day, and happy belated Father's Day to you, too.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it. All right. Talk to you later. All right. Bye-bye. All right, everyone. That was our guest, Drake Xavior. We thank you for listening. Go on YouTube or whatever on social media and check him out. He always puts on a great wrestling match and always a great interview. And we will talk to you later, and have a great day.